Hi there, Libra. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love and light to you here. I'm getting that there's a conversation that you really, 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 really want to kind of be cautious about. I'm hearing that specifically for a number of you in the way that you feel it, okay? I'm seeing that you are kind of, I'm hearing clapping your hands very slowly around a certain, I'm hearing conversation where it's like, how are we going to be counting the footsteps all the way home? How are we going to be communicating about the conversation itself? What is the concept of it? And I'm seeing you as, I'm hearing let's stay together. Oh, is it by Al Green? Let's stay together. It's like I'm seeing you wanting to kind of hold, I'm hearing also secret. Let's keep it, I'm hearing secret, take it as you will, which is very interesting because the Ace of Swords is coming right up now. It's like, what is the dynamic that we want to reach? What is the solution that we would like to reach? By way of keeping, I'm hearing all of our goal, I'm hearing guns, I'm hearing goals as well in our holsters. And the feeling is that you kind of want to be, again, cautious about the way that you hold a certain conversation, the way that you take on certain moves, perhaps professionally, perhaps physically, I'm hearing financially. It's like, okay, if I'm going to be talking to certain individuals, I'm hearing networking. I don't want, let's say, one person to know that I'm talking to the next. It's like, I don't want there to be a conversation that comes out of our conversation. I want it to be something that is also kept in a space that is, I'm hearing meaningful as well, where it's like, it's not, let's say, going to just be circulating the community. I'm hearing also the campus, take it as you will. I'm hearing campus solutions worldwide, the Ace of Pentacles, take it as you will. And if you're, let's say, talking about a certain industry yet again, it can also be a certain project that you want to really take public for a number of you, or really get a hold of. I'm hearing practicing on. I'm seeing you like wanting to be kind of careful about how you move into it. And you got the Ten of Swords, Three of Pentacles up right, and the Hanged Man here, right at the base of the Three of Pentacles. There could be a focus on the future that you see creating with perhaps an individual who's got a lot of Pisces in their chart. There could be the focus as well on a cycle that's energetic or emotionally based that you kind of want to get creative with. And it's like, all right, how do we start splashing water around in this pool again? I'm hearing specifically for a number of you. It's like, and you could feel that timing is somewhat of a focus here. How is it that I am also feeling challenged by this experience in a way that is actually provocative in a good way for me, of the vision that I hold of what I can potentially create? And I'm seeing you as really wanting to water the plants in that garden. It's like, okay, I'm hearing there were a few weeds there. I'm hearing we cleared them out. And how is it that we're now going to be communicating about what we want to be creating in this space? And I'm seeing you as having hope, but somewhat, I'm hearing in a dreary way where it's like, I'm kind of getting tired of having the conversation I'm hearing over and over and over again. How are we going to be communicating about it in a way that creates closure, I'm hearing, of it for us in terms of how we would like eventually to sorry, Libra, how it is that we would like to have certain impressions set I'm hearing for the audience that we will eventually be imagining, I'm hearing before us. And I'm seeing you like kind of wanting to take a very I'm hearing practical but passionate approach in the way that you make this proposal. And I'm seeing you as kind of being wary, I'm hearing again, of the way that you walk into this work environment. I'm hearing a work position as well. And there's a dynamic yet again that you may feel you would like to strike. The focus is on what your philosophy is that relates to it. You have the Hierophant and the Justice card both together here. There's a focus on where you take your assets. I'm hearing specifically what you consider to hold a value for you. What is it that I want to actually walk into the world with? And it may be related to a certain philosophy that you would like to work on. I'm hearing really clarifying and gaining clarity with how is it that I see myself investing in a certain industry, in a certain space, a certain partnership. Do I see myself investing in that space? Do I see them having a space that they're actually making for me as well in an open-ended way? And I'm seeing that there is perhaps the desire to really find closure with that. And you may be kind of wondering, are they really, I'm hearing, happy that I'm home? I'm hearing specifically, are they really having, I'm hearing an emotion that is not being spoken for? Take it as you will. And again, it can be your own energy. There can be a focus on translation as well of a certain desire or vision that you see really taking flight into the future. If that is so, I'm getting that you're perhaps a little bit preoccupied about how it gets delivered to the right people, like the right audience. And I'm seeing it yet again as like, okay, if I talk to you, how do we ensure that that's not going to get talked around town back to the boardroom as well? Take it as you will. And I'm seeing it as like something that you kind of want to get casual with, but that you don't, and that you also want to make very official in a certain way, but that you don't, the Ace of Swords again coming through, but that you don't really, want to make colorful. Okay, it's like, I don't want it to be something that is just communicated about by anyone, to anyone, and anything, okay? And I'm seeing it, you wanting somewhat of a privacy with a certain project that you may be still gauging the temperature of, okay? Now, if you're making a proposal, or if you're, let's say, turning one down, I'm seeing yet again that you are not wanting to make any wish one that can be blown out too quickly on the candle. It's like, I don't want that candle to be fast burning. I'm hearing specifically for a number of you. There may be, though, a feeling of I'm hearing passion that you really want to capitalize on. And it's like, yes, I'm hearing, I feel something about this. Yes, I feel like there is a future. I'm hearing specifically for a number of you. There's a lot of passion, but I also feel that there needs to be a philosophy and underpinning. Also proposal that makes me, I'm hearing magnetized to it, perhaps physically. And if that's the case, what exactly is the wish that I want to be making and blowing out by way of blowing the candle out? It's like, what is it that I want to be also managing, I'm hearing, financially through the process? And you may be kind of thinking about that a lot, like what actually makes financial sense. There could be focus on support as well financially, in terms of, well, if I make this proposal, what's that going to be kind of setting a stage for? I'm hearing practically. You've got the Mother of Wands upright. Right beneath here, the High Priestess in reverse. High Priestess looking over the Ace of Swords. The Strength card, the apex of your spread. You may be dealing with a Leo. You got the Three of Cups and the Six of Wands. You may be thinking about taking your work or moving into certain industries that have no sort of timeline to them. It's like, I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know where that's going to start leading into as a conversation, as a talk. But I'm going to gain traction, perhaps experience in certain industries. And if you're thinking about moving into a certain industry, it may even be abroad. I'm seeing that you're kind of researching that, investigating that here, okay? Now, there's a focus on what makes sense for you in a collaborative way. Whoa, you got 3 threes here. The Three of Swords, the Three of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles right over the Daughter of Swords. There's a focus here on what you would really like to make official, solidify as your version of the vision that you would like to see yourself creating, that you see yourself manifesting through. And I'm seeing it as like, what direction do I really want to move in? And I'm seeing again, Libra, that there's a focus on your philosophy. It's like, how do I want to be wearing my underwear on that day? Do I want it to give me a wedgie, or do I want it to give me, I'm hearing, a world that, excuse me, Libra, that I can work with? And I'm getting it as being something that you have a vision of. You have the desire for, to clarify, but that you don't necessarily want to walk into when the lights are off in the room. And it's like, I don't want to just like make a promise that is not, I'm hearing, doesn't hold power to it, like doesn't feel also professional. I'm hearing that from a number of you where I feel like I can physically, financially support it. I want to feel that there's somewhat of a formality to the future that I'm entertaining even, and I'm seeing you as being very careful with the way that you entertain any particular version of any particular vision that you're holding. Let us move here and get a few more cards out for you, Libra, and see what comes through. Again, this is the full moon in Taurus reading. Okay. I'm hearing taking time out to find the way that the clock ticks just right for you. And you may be taking time to really think about things, to really perhaps research, to investigate, to also envision, to imagine, to also manage your time, your physical assets through, okay, and in a way that feels right to you. Yet again, feels right to you. Six of Pentacles at the apex of your spread. Get out. I'm hearing get out. Nine of Wands upright, right next to the Six of Pentacles. Okay, and this is right around the full moon in Taurus period. Let's see what comes through for you. Six of Swords in reverse. The Four of Wands in reverse, I'm hearing Tango. Seven of Cups in reverse, I'm hearing Headdress. The Daughter of Wands in reverse. Okay, and this is leading up into the period of the full moon in Taurus. The Five of Pentacles leading out. I'm hearing, have we tracked it already? I'm hearing with time, the Star upright right over the Five of Pentacles. You may be really wanting, I'm hearing really relentless in the way that you'd like to work a certain problem out. It can be related to the physical body. It can be related to also the home environment. The Two of Cups upright, the moon in reverse. You may be really getting clear on how you want to eventually communicate a certain emotion and a certain vision as well of what satisfies you. And you have the Ten of Pentacles here in reverse, mirroring the Son of Wands upright, the Ace of Wands upright, the Son of Swords in reverse, mirroring the Son of Wands upright, the Lovers in reverse, mirroring the Ace of Wands upright, the Hermits in reverse, right over the World upright. I'm getting that eventually you're coming to, I'm hearing a point of clarity with the situation that you feel holds most potential. And I'm getting that you are really desiring to creep into the conversation room in a way that brings clarity to the message that you really want to manage physically. I'm hearing the work of, and you may be thinking of partnering up with someone. You may be thinking of also, I'm hearing marrying someone. You may be thinking of merging assets with someone. There could be a focus on, again, when you feel and when you don't feel the focus is there quite yet. And there is a focus on movement and change, perhaps abroad. You may be dealing with a Capricorn. I'm hearing a Cancer as well. You may be dealing with a Pisces, someone who is somewhat changeable. I'm hearing mutable, mutating, shifting in the way that they are involved in a certain project, in a certain line of work as well. They may be actually moving. They may be under a period of stress as well in a certain way. However it may be taken. Take it as you will, dear Libra. But I'm seeing here the Empress right over the Magician, over the Judgment card, and the Daughter of Cups. Daughter of Cups is mirroring the Magician. You may be dealing with some Sagittarius in their chart, as well as Pisces. And they're really not shy about how far they go I'm hearing in a communicative way. They're very direct, also challenging with the way that they are, let's say, childish at times. They would like to communicate to you what they're feeling. There are certain pathways for that discussion that need to have a basis as you feel it, and are eventually going to be communicated about. And it's like I'm seeing you wanting to have a certain sense of clarity with how you carry a certain conversation through. And if you're making a proposal, I'm seeing you as having a few decisions to be made in terms of what exactly you would like to present to this individual. I'm seeing also to this place. It can be a community that you're thinking of opening a certain part of your work to, a certain audience that you really want to tap into. That's very exciting. And there may be the focus on a new beginning here as it pertains to what you're emotionally investing in. And there's a sense of maturity that you feel. It's like, I've got to really grow my feathers out a little bit before I can have this kind of conversation. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse, the Eight of Cups upright, and the Father of Cups upright, mirroring the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. The feeling is that you don't want to formalize that process quite yet. Perhaps you don't want to feel like that, okay, yes, I'm hearing definitely I'm the doctor of so-and-so. Yes, definitely I'm hearing I'm the daddy of so-and-so as well. I'm adopting this door that I'm going to be walking through. It's like, I don't want it to feel, let's say, so fathered. I'm hearing fatherly as well. I want there to be a nature and a spirit of freedom to it that makes, yes, official the starting point of when things begin to move forward in a way that challenges the paradigm that we have walked through before in this process, even in this conversation, but at the same time in such a way that makes very real and spontaneous what it is that stimulates us through the process. And I'm seeing it there as being a focus on what is actually stimulating. And the focus here, as I'm getting it for you, Libra, is on passion. What it is that has feeling to it. And it's like, okay, if we're gonna wear this outfit, how can we still move physically through it? How can we still feel our fingers in the gloves sort of feeling? How can we still touch each other in the same way and not feel that there's a financial obligation to it? Whatever that may mean to a different number, you take it as you will, Libra. But the feeling is that you have somewhat of a, it's like if, let's say you're drawing up a contract with someone or you want to get a professional, I'm hearing quota statement. It's like, how is it that we're talking about things or feeling that there's a standard here that we're both setting and also reaching and meeting, but not in such a way that makes it feel fake, okay? What it is that we are upholding in the feeling space, in the visionary space. And again, how is it like that the practical side of what we're engaging in is not overstepping the boundaries that we have not set, I'm hearing purposely. And those that really charge the imagination of what we can create. And I'm seeing you as like having purposely not set boundaries to be able to see what can actually be, I'm hearing, brought out as a surprise. And you have here the Fool upright at the apex of your spread, right over the Six of Wands, and always take it as you will. Always a matter of personal interpretation, right? General reading, of course, it can be taken, perceived, and interpreted a number of ways. Three of Pentacles here, mirroring the Fool at the apex of the spread. There's a focus on how far you're willing to go. And it's like, how far up this mountain am I going to climb before I realize I've got to jump? And you may be really thinking about what makes sense at this point, Libra. You've got the Tower and the Nine of Pentacles. There may be focus on what feels somewhat turbulent in terms of how you talk about it. Yet again, it's like, what is the actual future that we're gonna be focusing on? And when we're, let's say, finding the ways of talking about it, how are we not going to be feeling numb? I'm hearing in the note that we write each other about it. And I'm hearing it, there's a simple solution here with the Two of Wands and the Four of Wands. The Moon in reverse, again, coming through the Nine of Swords in reverse. You're super clear on what holds, I'm hearing, emotion for you. What holds a sense of sentimentality for you as well, where it's like, yes, I'm hearing, I feel like this is exciting for me. Yes, I feel like I want to also be the father, I'm hearing, of this project. Take it as you will, the Father of Pentacles here in reverse, mirroring the Lovers upright. Eight of Pentacles upright, but I have to feel like I can actually feel my way through that process. And how is it that I'm finding the form that I would like to take on that makes me feel found in the process of finding clarity in all of it? Like, what I'm hearing, it's like this, Libra. It's like, how do I actually want to, I'm hearing specifically for a number of you, financially support, philosophically also believe in what I'm merging with, what it is that I'm hearing managing physically, financially, what it is I'm supporting. If I'm working in this industry, do I believe in it? If I'm making this promise, do I want to make it? What exactly is it in and of itself that I would like to, I'm hearing propose, I'm hearing marry as the ideal of my version of myself through time? And this is something that, let's say, is related to a physical environment that you're operating through, be it an industry, be it a certain project I'm hearing as well that you're collaborating on, be it I'm hearing parenting skills, what it is that you perhaps are thinking of really managing through time. It can be related to assets and investment. But yet again, it's like, I realize that it's not just how I put the powder on my face I'm hearing to play the part. It's a matter of how I am starting the storyline of it. First, as a solution that I have soldered in my mind's eye as the vision of my interpretation of it, energetically, emotionally. Does it resonate with me? Do I feel like I am harmonically a fit for this? I'm hearing philosophically. And I'm seeing you really being very picky about that in terms of who you want to partner up with, how it is that you would like to also finance this storyline. I'm hearing specifically, you may be dealing with a Pisces here, or someone with a lot of earth in their chart, a lot of water in their chart, a lot of fire in the chart as well. You may be dealing with Capricorn, I'm hearing specifically. Somebody who's very financially independent, somebody who's very focused on how they carry their work out, somebody who is like always involved in some shape or form in a public space, someone who may be incredibly social, but also somewhat secluded. I'm hearing that specifically in terms of how they open themselves to certain experiences, also where it is that they involve their I'm hearing imagination in. And it's like, this person is so creative, but they don't just create anything with anyone at any time. It's like that kind of feeling. I'm hearing they're reserved also about the way that they invest in certain projects or industries. There's a focus here on I'm seeing like there's a factor here that nobody's paying attention to. And I'm hearing it as being specifically related to what is changing through time. And I'm getting for a number of you that it's almost like, okay, we are of two completely different nationalities. I'm hearing that for a number of you. And whatever way that meant for you, what is a nationality? Take it as you will. What is actually something that I feel is a label that I have created, and what is a label that I have been, I'm hearing leaving behind the trace of, I'm hearing the time of as well. Take it as you will. It's like, where have I lived and where have I loved? What is it that I actually feel is a space that I would like to, I'm hearing again, leave behind, but also I'm hearing leap into. And I'm hearing surface in as well, and there could be focus on what you would eventually like to find a forum with. Libra, I'm seeing that there is a focus, again, I'm seeing like two individuals who are like not focusing. I'm seeing it specifically on the Temperance card. Like, okay, we speak two different languages, but we're not gonna acknowledge that. I'm very specifically, we have two completely different philosophies on marriage, but we're not gonna really, I'm hearing, manage the conversation around it quite yet. We're not in the way of we're not gonna manage it, because we're not, I'm hearing, managers of our own message, whatever that may be for you. I'm seeing like two individuals who are very good at communication, actually very, very perhaps skilled and crafted for a certain role that may be socially focused, but I'm seeing it as like how we decide to open up that space is really different. And that's not something that we're really ready to open up, I'm hearing, as a Polly Pocket yet. I'm hearing project, and that may be related to what you want to be exclusive with. It may be related to, yet again, the philosophy that you hold of exclusivity. What does it mean to be committed to a project? What does it mean to also feel that we have a space to wiggle around in that dimension? And there's a focus I'm getting specifically on what you carry out over time, what it is that you create over time. And the dynamic of that is a focus, and I'm seeing that you perhaps want to really pay attention to what makes sense, Libra, on an emotional level first. And that may be a storyline that has yet to be told. It's like, I don't know how I sound like when I'm talking about my feelings. I'm hearing specifically, I need to kind of feel my feathers again. I'm hearing specifically for a number of you, and there could be focus as well on finding time to talk about certain topics that have somewhat of a turbulent, testing, sort of nature to them. And you've got the Daughter of Cups and the Mother of Cups. Mother of Cups is in reverse, Daughter of Cups upright, Two of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, where are we actually going with the emotional roller coaster here? And what are we actually investing again in the space. I'm hearing chiming in with. There could be focus on expectations and what you may feel. If I'm going to be talking about this, I need to be really walking down. I'm hearing the aisle as well. The version that I would like to be setting verbally the stage for, take it as you will. What it is that I'm hearing also visually, I would like, that I hold a vision of, rather seeing myself walking through. And this is not something that you really want to just jump into, Libra. I'm seeing you, like, if somebody again makes a proposal to you, it's like, I'm so glad that I'm on your wish list, but I'm not ready to hitch any ride yet. And I don't want to have to hack up I'm hearing a lung to kind of have that conversation with you. I don't want to have, in whatever way that may mean for you, take it as you will. I also don't want to have to have a really haphazard I'm hearing hand on the I'm hearing hat that I offer you. I'm hearing goods through. It's like this, Libra. It's like I'm seeing you like want it. Somebody comes up to you and they're like, let's talk about this. I'm hearing, come on. I'm hearing gym, jacket. I'm hearing, get your jacket on. And you're like, look, okay, I don't really have time for this. I'm hearing as well for a number of you. I really don't know where the time will be for me to talk about this as well. I'm seeing like not physically even knowing where you're placing this moment on a timeline. But at the same time though, I'm seeing you kind of wanting to be really skeptical. I'm hearing though rigid, not in a way of I'm skeptical of this, but in a way of like, let me be discerning about it and let that also be a testament to how I want to show you how serious I can be about this. And I want you to kind of, I'm hearing appreciate that. I'm seeing that you may want, let's say, others to put a place of value on how you, I'm hearing vacate certain spaces, perhaps industrially, where it's like I don't just commit to any project, and I also don't just walk out on them just like this. I'm hearing committed in a certain way, but I'm not also going to be I'm hearing kind of like connected to any but in a way of I'm hearing consistent in what I would like to work on. And I'm seeing it as something that you want to investigate further. You got the Fool in reverse, the High Priestess in reverse. I'm seeing it as something that you would like more of a visual representation with. It's like, let's see what we can actually work on. And then let's see where that can take it. It's like, it's kind of like internship feeling. It's like, let's see how you dance on the dance floor, and then let's see how we doctor it out after, and then let's have a moment to have another moment to see where we're kind of talking from, and is it going to be out of our mouth or is it going to be out of our eyes? Take it as you will. It's like I'm seeing you kind of wanting to gauge someone's also sense of seriousness, and I'm seeing that is a concept for you that's really different, let's say, than what someone else considers to be serious, and that may be a focus for you. It's like, how are we actually perceiving these concepts? Okay, thank you so much, Libra, for tuning in. Love and light to you all here, and let's see if anything else wants to come through. I'm hearing challenging trains of thought, the Mother of Cups and the Tower. That could be focused on a Pisces individual. Yet again, someone's got a lot of water in their chart. They're psychedelic. I'm hearing as all hell, take it as you will. They are really, I'm hearing turbulent in the way that they talk about things as well. They may not really know. I'm hearing how to have certain conversations with you. They don't really know. I'm hearing how far they want to take the talk as well, but they are somewhat stimulating for you in a certain way. At the same time, it's like, I don't know, like, why they have so much allure. I'm hearing so much magnetism as well in this project, but they do, and I can't hide that. I'm hearing specifically, I can't hold myself from having so much respect as well for them, even if I don't necessarily understand their work. And for a number of you, this may be related to an industry that you're interested in moving into, and it's like, it doesn't really make sense, perhaps in a certain way. It doesn't really make me feel secure. I'm hearing stable, but I realize that I still have a place in it. Perhaps I still feel that there is a future for it, a vision of it that I see myself supporting down the line. And for a number of you, this may be related to how you communicate about this on an emotional level. How does it you find the time to communicate about this? And that, again, it's like, I don't know. I'm hearing where's the time that I'm going to be kind of ticking the clock to talk about it more deeply. And it can be so simple as, well, I don't know, I'm hearing what train's gonna get me there to take me to the place that I feel I can actually have the talk at. For a number of you, this may be an actual physical location that may be related to where you want to have this talk through. You've got the Chariot in reverse mirroring the Father of Swords upright, the Justice card in reverse. I'm seeing that you're really, really clear on what you want to be opening up a storyline to, and what is not really stable as you may feel it, as a space that you physically want to be involved in. And there's a focus here on how many turns the track has taken. Perhaps there could be a focus on what has been cyclical, okay? There's a focus, though, at the end of the day on what has been brought to light. And it may be of a nature that has been somewhat challenging physically. And it's like, I don't know, I'm hearing I don't have any time. I'm hearing I have so much work to do. I'm hearing that for a number of you, I just don't even know how to train the children anymore on how to potty train themselves. It's like, I feel a lot of pressure. I'm hearing as well for a number of you, there could be a tremendous amount of I'm hearing interpretation that may be at play, where it's like what I'm involved in and the industry that I'm involved in may, and it can go in so many different directions, Libra, right? Always general reading, always perceive it as you will. But it's like, I feel like on one day I have to play as Peter, and on the other day I have to play as Patrick. And how am I'm hearing Patrick Swayze, and how is it that I'm finding the polarity somewhat also provocative in a way that keeps the passion going? And I don't want to have to turn my back on this. I'm hearing specifically for a number of you, I don't want to have to turn away from the time that I've taken to make this this temperature just right in the room. And I'm seeing that there's something that you've really been working super hard on, Libra, that has not been coming full circle in the way that you may have expected, that has still, it's like there's one wheel that's still kind of flat, and what is going on back there, I'm hearing specifically, is it another nail? I'm hearing in the tire, take it as you will. But I'm seeing that you are wanting to, and I'm seeing that it's like, I'm seeing that there's a question of what exactly do I need to jingle some more change in my pocket to make this Joker start telling jokes again? It's like there's something that you may want to keep talking about. You want to still kind of keep ticking as well, the clock too. And I'm hearing the hours of, I'm hearing hourglass figure. It's like you want to kind of see something mature and shape. You want to kind of give something more time to tell its own story in the way that it does. And I'm seeing that you're not all too keen on telling the story yourself, which is very interesting. I'm seeing that you kind of want to give a space to the conversation to hold itself in a certain way. It's like, okay, I'm hearing we're just children playing in the playpen. I don't want it to be something that has, I'm hearing an origami of a nature to it. I want it to be something that is kind of natural in the way that it suggests itself to us, and in the way that we would eventually be acting on behalf of it. And again, I'm hearing like, there are so many turns that we've taken. There are so many ways that we can also be talking about this experience that is transformational, but also testing. And I'm seeing that the challenge is somewhat exciting for you. I'm hearing Virgo in the way that it makes you analyze certain processes of the past as well. And it perhaps gets you really thinking about certain subject matters that have held a certain place in your heart in the past. I'm hearing in your heart, but I'm hearing also in your in your professional life. It's like, this is making me really think about my potential as well in a new way. Okay, there may be something from the past that's coming back around the mountain full circle, maybe related to concepts of childhood change movement, communities. I'm hearing translocation, the Chariot and the Six of Cups. Take it as you will here. Libra, I'm hearing Virgo strongly, and you may be dealing with a Virgo. You may be dealing with someone who's incredibly shy. I'm hearing emotionally. I'm hearing incentive. I'm hearing intense as well, where it's like they have mood swings, perhaps for a number, where they may be connected to a lot of individuals. They may be really, really highly social. And it's kind of like they want to talk to you about every emotion that they're having. And it's like, I'm sorry, like my table is not that big to hold. I'm hearing one conversation for this kind of talk here, and then another conversation for that kind of talk there. I kind of just want to have the time to be telling, again, the tale itself. And it's like, I'm seeing you as wanting to be somewhat rigid with that, Libra. And not really opening your doors fully to the kind of faces that don't hold feeling to them in an emotional way. I'm hearing specifically where it's like, okay, do we feel something here? Okay, if we do, great. Let's start to fly now. Let's start to find the focus without feeling that the focus is being formed by way of the feeling itself, where it's like every feeling then has a certain definition to it, and then that makes the direction that we're taking on clear. It's like, I don't want it to be something that we have to die over also the conversation of. And I'm seeing you kind of coming around to a certain individual. I'm hearing coming full circle again to a certain version of a path that you once, let's say, traveled, that you once decided to take on. And it can be perceptive. It's like, yeah, I once saw myself as maybe having a certain place here. I'm hearing in your heart, I'm hearing that for a number of you. I saw myself really having a place in this industry as well, carrying out my work in a really, really productive manner. It can be a business that you were interested in taking on in a certain way. I'm seeing that you're very, very adamant about what you would like to eventually walk away from. I'm hearing and walk into the world of. It can be related to a contract. It can be related to matters of exclusivity. Again, partnerships. You're super clear on what works and what doesn't. What is your, I'm hearing, prerogative, and where it is that you want to be working from on it. And I'm seeing that towards the end of this moon cycle, you have, I'm hearing, firm grasp intellectually of what you find really inspiring for you. And the Hierophant is mirroring the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Nine of Wands upright. If you're worried about having a future with someone, I'm hearing specifically, I'm getting that there is, I'm hearing feeling in the form that it takes on down the line, whatever that may mean for a number of you. I'm getting that there is a really strong connection here. The Death card, the Two of Cups, the Father of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. There's a focus on timing though, and it's like something just might not be really ripe yet. Something might not be fully also disclosable. It's like they might not be able to talk about certain things. It's like certain emotions have a process to them. I'm hearing a lineage to them that need to be dispersed and discussed. And it's like, I've got to first separate the papers that are wet. And I'm imagining like a stack of papers that are soggy, like water just has been poured all over them. And it's like, I'm seeing someone who takes the papers and it's like, I hold on. And it's like, someone's like, what were on those papers? Well, what's all of that? And then I'm seeing you, Libra, is like, or someone else perhaps taking these papers out and being like, I need to just, they're so preoccupied with like separating them and drying them. They're like, I can't talk about what was on them. I need to first have them dry out first. And I'm seeing you somewhat frenetic in that period of wanting to process the I'm hearing project manual. It's like, I need to know how I'm going to be talking about this. I need to know how I'm going to be also deciding on certain storylines. And if something didn't quite make sense to you strategically, I'm hearing mathematically, you're not really going to be making a movie out of it quite yet until you have clarified it in your mind's eye. And for a number of you, I'm seeing that it's like this feeling of like, okay, someone is very curious about the Titanic. It's like, what was the Titanic? Where was the Titanic? It's almost like they hear about the Titanic like sinking, and it's like, what? I'm hearing why, what's that all about? And they're like wanting you to bring it from the base of the ocean up to the I'm hearing the front of the line to be discussed, and you're like, we need to get the parts first out of the water so I can actually show you what's going on, or at least so that we can, I'm seeing you like being really though involved in a certain process that has a discussion around it, yes, but that is not to be just sort of dynamically reproduced or I'm hearing publicly carried through. And I'm seeing, Libra, yet again, there being the desire for change, but wanting the change that's made to have a rhythm to it that works. And what works for you is not what works for everyone else necessarily. What holds a space for you does not necessarily have value for others. And that's a concept that can be really difficult at times to deal with, right? Because sometimes it's like, well, I want to, I'm hearing marry the vision first. I'm hearing the version of the vision that I hold first. And that might be a matter of seeing it from both sides of the coin. It's not a matter of just how we come together and do it. I'm hearing specifically, but how it is that we have also done it in the past, and how it is that we are coming together in a perceptive way. And that for me forms the clarity of what it means to, I'm hearing marry someone. And I'm seeing it as almost like the desire to understand what forms a union, what forms, I'm hearing also complexity of character, what forms also the future as a point of synthesis by way of understanding what is being synchronized here. And that requires to understand in a certain way what the differences are. And in coming to that point of understanding what makes you you and what makes me me, makes for the conversation of what could become. And someone, I'm seeing it perhaps being you, someone, perhaps someone, another, and maybe you really researching a certain industry, a certain topic. Sorry about that, Libra. The phone cut there, okay. And we were saying, right, it's like that being somewhat of a topic that you, again, it could be related to, let's say, an industry that you're thinking of moving into, a project that you want to kind of get off the ground. It could be also a collaboration, negotiation financially. It's like what actually makes sense of the space that we both are operating in as independent individuals before it is that we manage the market that we're going to be taking on. And I'm hearing together, again, it can be a collaboration, it can be an industry, a project, a professional sort of working space as well. And it's like, I'm seeing that someone doesn't really fully grasp that concept. They may be more impulsive, they may be more, I'm hearing also intuitive in the way that they take certain turns. I'm hearing also in their work, it's like if they feel it, they feel it. They may have a lot of fire in their chart. They may have a lot of Aries in their chart. They may have a lot of Sagittarius, Leo. They're not afraid of finding out what comes of their actions. And again, it's like this very sort of risky energy that they are almost really kind of, I'm hearing surprised at even when they take on certain actions. And it's like, they may say something, they may do something, and then they turn around and they're like, what was I thinking when I whacked that mole back into the ground? It's like sort of feeling, it's like, what was I really, and they may be somewhat, I'm hearing they're a really hard worker. They know their industry very well. They may be highly, highly respected as well in a certain way in their industry in terms of, they may be like known for what it is that they create. This may be your own energy as well, perhaps in a certain industry that you may want to merge with another version of yourself, whatever that may mean for you, Libra. But I'm seeing it as being, yet again, And of course, right, general reading, it may resonate differently for everyone. Always take it as you will, always a matter perception, and not necessarily in any particular way, but there is a focus on who comes up to the front line. And this individual may be focusing on that. It's like, if you're not showing up and talking to me, I'm hearing with your toes, I'm hearing outside of your shoes and socks, I'm gonna feel weird. I'm hearing specifically. And it's like, if somebody wants to get kind of physical fast with you as well, and you're not really feeling that, I'm seeing that this is somewhat taking the temperature up a notch in the room that you're opening up a discussion in with them as. And it's like, there's something that you need time with. I'm hearing specifically Virgo. I'm hearing Virgo and Taurus strongly here. And it may have to do with, if let's say you've got the archetype of Virgo and Taurus overlapping in a personal birth chart. Let's say you've got Venus in Virgo or Venus in Taurus. It's like, you may, or in the 6th house, you may have a really like practical approach to matters I'm hearing also community, to connecting also with others that, again, others may not fully understand. It's like, what's with that approach that feels like somewhat of a scarecrow dance? It's like, why are they not even showing me? I'm hearing their toes, whatever that may mean. It's like, why are they not wearing Birkenstocks when I'm at home? Whatever. It's like something like that. For Tauro, Virgo, again, once I come through for you, Libra, it's like, why are they constantly also timing things and in a rush, or like taking the temperature at every moment that they can? It's like, there's a focus perhaps on timing as well of certain actions, and someone may be, again, incredibly impulsive. Like, this person needs, I'm hearing, to take action. They may naturally be a performer. They may be really, really, really also highly creative, dynamic, imaginative. What does it mean to be creative, right? They've got the Empress right beneath them. They may be in Aries, but the feeling is that they don't also just do that anywhere at any time. They've got to really feel it. And I'm hearing they really feel it, but they also don't really know what they're feeling about it. But they still want to capitalize on that feeling with you. They may want to also channel that practice in a way that can be physically experienced. I'm hearing also carried out. And the challenge may be in the solution that's met conceptually, philosophically, intellectually, logically. How are we actually going to be strategizing the stocks that we're going to be selling to each other? It's like that kind of feeling. It's like, how are we going to be having the conversation about who creates what, and then what that creates down the line? And I'm seeing it as not being so much of a future focused interpretation here with the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. I'm mirroring the 3 of Swords upright. I'm seeing it as being something that has somewhat of a tea time to it. It's like, I realize that this is not going to be an over formalization or an over, I'm hearing forecast of the future. I realize that the focus at this point in time is on the philosophy of the future, right? It's like, not, we don't need to stamp what we're going to be serving each other 20 years down the line. I'm hearing 10 years down the pike, whatever that may mean for a number of you. I don't want to know exactly even what can become of this experience necessarily, but I just want there to be the space that's spoken of for it. And for a number of you, I'm seeing that you may really want to have a happy kind of conversation about this, where you don't have to feel like I'm trembling on ice to make a change here, to also take a turn. And the feeling is that time is somewhat at play, perhaps for a number of you. Time is somewhat of also, I'm hearing attraction module, whatever that may mean for a number of you, where it's like, time can serve us and it can also test us. And it's a test of time, how we test each other through time as well. What comes to the point of clarity over time, maybe what we would like to work with. And somewhat of a emotional nature maybe what is most challenging here. And I'm seeing it as like someone is under a lot of pressure here, Libra, like under a lot of pressure, and maybe your own energy. There may be the feeling of, well, I need to break out about this. I'm hearing break out about this. I'm hearing break out of the hat. I'm hearing break out of the closet as well. Whatever that may mean for you, always take it as you will. Always a matter of interpretation, perception. It can be taken, perceived, and interpreted in a number of ways, but finding a solution is somewhat, as you may feel it, I'm hearing slimy one, whatever that may mean, where it's like I'm seeing it like there are emotions that feel slimy that we have to kind of fix, I'm hearing, and find a focus with, and that might hurt a few feelings in the process because we're isolating certain standards, I'm hearing specifically here, that we need to talk about very clearly, we need to set. And always take it as you will, again, Libra, not necessarily in any particular way. There may be a focus on boundaries as well, how we want to have certain conversations about certain physical experiences that we may feel have a place, that we may feel have also an application or a purpose. For a number of you, there could be a focus on how you're physically presenting your work, how you're actually physically presenting your own philosophy as well, your own perspective of the whole experience. And I'm hearing also the project and the industry. You may be giving a talk, I'm hearing specifically for a number of you, and the feeling could be, well, how do I actually want to physically stand up for it? I'm hearing, how do I physically want to challenge as well the process that I've taken in the past to represent this industry? And I'm getting kind of cold here, Libra. Let me turn the heat up. Okay. I'm getting that there are some, hearing it's been a rocky ride, Libra. It's been a long road here. I'm hearing talking and turning. I'm hearing the wheel. It's like you got the Wheel of Fortune sitting here just on the 10 of Wands in reverse. There's a whole lot of the 5 Pentacles, 5 of Cups in reverse, a whole lot of perhaps energy that's been put into making a solution final. I'm hearing about the focus. It's like, what are we actually working on here? And again, maybe dealing with a Pisces. 5 of Pentacles here right under the 5 of Cups in reverse. 5 of Pentacles is upright. I got 2 5s here right next to the Wheel of Fortune, the 10 of Wands. 10, 10, 5, 5. 5 plus 5, 10. The 3 of Pentacles sits just under the 5 of Pentacles. I'm seeing that there's a solution that you feel, it's like there's definitely got to be a solution for this. The Mother of Swords, perpendicular to the 3 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles falling on the ground. Something though is really like, it's like, I'm hearing like, how do I actually maneuver through this? And again, I'm hearing for a number of you, there's just a whole lot of work. There's a whole lot of, I'm hearing hope as well at the same time, and like interest in finding a solution, but somewhat of a stagnant storyline that needs to kind of be written. And it's, again though, it's like I want it to write itself. I don't want to feel like I have to hold the magic marker in my hand and then call it a pen for it to work as well. And the feeling I'm getting is that, excuse me, Libra, is that you don't really want to also have to gauge the temperature in the room that you talk in order to have the gates open in the room to walk through. And the focus can be on the philosophy of I'm hearing of the physical space. I'm hearing the party as well that but I'm seeing it as being related to philosophical talks of like, I'm seeing like professor, I'm seeing there could be a focus on academics. It's like for a number of you, this could be also a court case, take it as you will. It's like, what is the actual physical space? What is the, again, I'm hearing the philosophy that is circulating in it. And does it feel, I'm hearing, ready to be talked about, given the space that it's being talked of in? And I'm seeing for a number of you, like you wanting to kind of walk into a room and have a certain conversation like already talked about, whatever that means. It's like, I want to feel like also when I walk into that room, I'm prepared to have a certain conversation I'm hearing talked about again, but in a way where it's already been talked about. Very interesting. It's almost like I want to go to the teacher's office once I've kind of taught them the subject matter first that I would like to present to them. It can be like a thesis for a number of you. I have almost this feeling of like, I want there to be somewhat of a warm-up to the game. I want to kind of have some wine served at the I'm hearing summit, take it as you will. I kind of want there to be a I'm hearing a focus as well on the vision. I'm hearing also the many variables that can be addressed in how we hold the conversation. The focus may be for you, Libra, as well, that you don't want necessarily for there to be any particular temperament that is exchanged in that moment. And I'm getting that you, again, I'm seeing it as like you wanting to prepare the space in a certain way. Even like, let's say, prepare who's going to be having or opening the conversation. It's like you almost want to like give them some supplemental material to first get really familiar with a certain rhythm that eventually will be struck. You may be presenting something to someone, proposing a certain opportunity. You've got the Fool here. I'm hearing on a ghost hunt chase. Fool's gold, I'm hearing. This came through Libra in your new moon in Libra reading, okay, which is now up, and you can check that reading out. You've got the Two of Cups mirroring the Fool. I'm hearing I'm hearing Route 66. I'm hearing rolling. Justice card right next to the Two of Cups. Four of Pentacles here in reverse, the Five of Wands in reverse. I'm hearing, we want to know, I'm hearing where love is. We don't want to know what love is, we want to know where love is and where it takes us. Perhaps physically, financially, it's like, how do I apply my passions? Perhaps in a professional way, in a productive way. You've got the Devil here right at the apex of the Two of Cups, the Sun in reverse, perpendicular to the Five of Pentacles, the Fool, looking out over to the Father of Swords. There's a focus on what you're presenting. There could be a physical side to this as well, financial side to this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love and light to you, Libra. Thank you so much for your dear support, your energetic support above and beyond all. And I highly recommend and check out your rising sign or moon sign, as you may find there's further insights there for you and your situation. I highly recommend to watch your rising sign or moon sign, as you may find there's further insights there for you into your situation. Love and light to y'all here, Libra. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you soon. And if you're watching specifically for matters related to Venus, you may want to check out your Venus sign. If you don't know your Venus sign and you would like to calculate it, or if you don't know any of your signs, you'd like to calculate them, other than, let's say, your sun sign, then you can calculate them via the link in the bio description box below. Just enter your birth information there, Libra, and it will calculate it for you, okay? Let's see anything else. Right in Venus, being related to matters and concepts of love, art, partnership, harmony, beauty. If you're focused specifically on matters of creativity, working with actual physical material assets and goods, I'm hearing management, perhaps what it is that you would like to carry out over time, especially if, let's say, you've got Venus associated with the planet of Saturn, associated with the house of the 10th house, associated with your midhaven. Let's say that you've got Taurus on your midhaven. There could be a focus on what you're carrying out over time related to concepts of love, art, partnership, harmony, beauty over the long term. And if that is so, if you've got a midhaven in Taurus, let's say, or Libra, there could be a focus on what it is that you would like to manifest, coming to a point of clarity here right around the full moon in Taurus, right? Given that Taurus and Libra are naturally both ruled by Venus. So point of clarity and culmination, I'm just beckoning to mention that may come through around this full moon in Taurus period, and how you want to gain traction with that over time can be a focus. Again, if you are if your midhaven angle sign is in Taurus or Libra, again, beckoning to mention that, that would mean that you are, that would mean that you are most likely, of course, so many factors can be at play, and if you'd like to calculate it, you can click the link below in the bio description box to provide, and it will route you to calculate your signs. If you are a midhaven, if you got a midhaven in Taurus or Libra, that would mean that you've got either a, let's see, Taurus, Taurus is 10. That would mean that, one second here, Taurus, 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Libra, I called you Taurus, okay. Take it as you will. We were saying that, let's say that you got your midhaven in Taurus, okay? Again, so sorry, 1 second, Libra. Sorry about that, Libra. We were saying, if, let's say you've got your midhaven in Taurus, this would mean that you're a Taurus 10th house. This would mean that your 11th house is Gemini. That would mean that your 12th house is, yes, this would mean that your 12th house is Cancer. Again, most likely, there could be so many factors at play. Let's say you've got intercepted houses and whatever else, but this would mean that you've got, then on your first house, your rising, ascendant, angle would be cusped by Leo. So if you're Leo rising, that would mean that you have rising, that would mean that you have a midhaven angle that is cusped by Taurus. Let's say you've got Libra as your midhaven angle. This would mean that your sun is placed close to your midhaven. If you've got your sun in Libra as well, then it would be perhaps conjunct your midhaven. Again, there's so many factors that could be at play, but I'm just back to mention that. Take it as you will, dear Libra. And if you're interested yet again in how the planetary placements align in your personal chart, you can click the link in the bio description box below, and that will lead you to calculate your sign placements. Again, let's say that you've got your Libra, your midhaven in Libra. This would mean that you've got Scorpio on your 11th house. It would mean that you've got Sagittarius on your 12th house. It would mean that you've got Capricorn on your ascendant. So if you're either an ascendant Capricorn or you are a Leo ascendant in Leo or ascendant in Capricorn, then this would mean that you've got Venus ruling your midhaven angle. So that would mean that, let's say, concepts related to Venus, related to also Saturn, matters of career, rather public standing. Let me say it this way. It would mean that, let's say, matters of career can be associated with what it is that is engaged on a also personal level between, let's say, you and your audience in an intimate way, on a personal level. I'm back to mention that, whatever that may mean for a number of you. And there could be so many factors at play. Let's say you've got your moon as well in your 10th house. There could be absolutely a focus on how you're forming connections with others, whatever that may mean for a number of you. Take it as you will. But yet again, I'm getting that for a number of you, again, if, let's say, you've got either your Taurus or your Libra cusping your midhaven angle, there could be a focus on how this concept related to Venus is being brought full circle on a broad public scale right around here, the full moon in Taurus, right? Yet again, given that the full moon is going to be in the sign ruled by Venus. So Venus being a focus here. And again, for those of you, let's say, I'm going to emphasize this, let's say that you've got your midhaven in Taurus specifically, then that would mean that matters associated with the channeling of this archetype, the channeling of this planet, are going to be reflected on a broad scale. Let's say there could be clarity of how you would like to channel this particular propensity through time. All right, thank you so much again for tuning in, Libra. Loving the light to you here. Thank you so much for your dear support, energetically above and beyond all. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscriptions. I'm so touched by all of you. Thank you for connecting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.